Hello, welcome back to the third episode of this tutorial about Matlab and Simulink application on a smartphone and the continuing topic of the building our AHRS based on our onboard sensors on board our smartphone. This is going to be a very short video clip because I assume that you have already watched the last tutorial, so I'm not going to talk about the AHRS things and the concept behind these things. In this video, I'm just going to update you with another filter that is less, it's not as good as Kalman filter, but it is better when you want to implement your code on a less advanced hardware. I mean, it takes much less system resources because it's much more lighter, but Kalman filter is very better, more robust, but it needs more system resources. But as long as you are using a good smartphone such the one I have right now, Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, it doesn't you don't care about the performance. You just put the code on your cell phone and you have many gigahertz of CPU, so don't worry. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this tutorial, these slides. If you haven't watched this, I will put the link for this page, I mean this tutorial series. Watch this one if you don't know anything about AHRS or deploying the Simulink models to Android. And if you want to access the code, you have 2 or 3 ways. You can use the GitHub page, the link is available in description. You can use the Mathwork page and you can download it, or the most easiest one, go to your Matlab, click on Add-on Explorer and search smartphone AHRS. You will get the web page for this plugin. Okay, and you can easily click Add and it will be added to your Mathwork with just one click. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about the concept behind AHRS and the difference from AHRS and IMU. In the last tutorial we talked about the Kalman filter concept just a little. In this tutorial we are going to use complementary filter, which is very easy. No big deal. What does complementary filter do? It means that it says that we have 2 different sources for our attitude estimation. First is from our accelerometer, as you can see at the top, and the second one is from our gyroscope. Each one has its pros and cons. The accelerometer pros is that it won't drift, the error won't be accumulated and won't be bigger and bigger by the time goes. But the cons of the accelerometer, the bad aspect of that is that the accelerometer will be affected when you're moving, when your drone or vehicle is moving and accelerating. The gravity vector will be shifted and you will no longer get the good results you want. In the other hand, gyroscope, it's very good in this part because it won't be affected by acceleration. It will always measure the correct angle traveled. So what's the bad things about gyroscope? It's that it has errors when the time goes. It has drifts and different kind of errors. When the time goes, error become bigger and bigger. And the other problem for the gyroscope is that it is always relative. It can always calculate the angle traveled, not the absolute angle. So there should be a way we can combine these two together. So we will create a complementary filter. We calculate the angle traveled by gyroscope and angle by accelerometer. We combine them together. We pass the gyroscope from an integrator to get the angle travel, and then through a high pass filter and the accelerometer from a low pass filter, and then sum it together. It's just the optimum, but in the code, when you want everything to be efficient, you just implement it like this, as you can see here. You will sum a portion of the angle traveled by gyro and a portion angle by accelerometer. Very simple way. And complementary filter is very easy to implement, very optimum, very lightweight, but it's not as good as Kalman. The difference between complementary filter and Kalman filter is that this gain, for example, here is 0.98. is calculated in real time as the optimum solution, optimum gain by Kalman filter. But in complementary filter, this gain is always constant. You as a designer should design this gain and implement it, and it won't be changed. And if it change, you will change it. The code won't change it. But in Kalman filter, the gain will always update itself based on the prediction and measurements and correcting. So this is the power of Kalman filter. And everything's the same. Let's go to the code. This is the model that you will get when you download it. Very quick review. You will see gyro complementary gain. This is a gain I have selected for this purpose, which is 0.78. Just with the, it will be different for your purpose, based on your performance of your CPU, based on your sample rate. Right now, my sample rate is 250 Hertz, which is 4 thousandths of a second, 4 milliseconds. You can change it by going to the Model Explorer and init function. And based on your sensors, your CPU, your sample rate, you might select a different gain. So I added an input on your application, so you can change the gain based on your application. And I have added a damping filter gain that I will tell you what is going on. Another input is available for the damping in your application. And there is a complementary reset push button, a button that you can press on it. It means that whenever you press this button, the angles will be zeroed. For example, after 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, the complementary filter for any reason had drifted and it's not correct anymore. So you just click on this button and it will reset itself by the accelerometer for the orientation, and for the heading by the magnetometer. And at the first, as you can see, I put a square signal, so at the first 1 second it will initialize the integrator for the angles and orientations here. Okay, as you can see, these are the gyro input, gx, gy, gz. It's on a Euler. We convert the angular velocities from gyroscope to the Euler angle rates with simple equations. Then we discrete integrate it. As you can see, I have put the external reset. Whenever the push button is clicked, it will be reset. An initial condition as external, and I will fit the initial condition by a moving average from the accelerometer roll and pitch. And everything is straightforward. In the complementary filter, this is everything happens. You see, for the heading section and roll and pitch section, I imported the accelerometer roll, gyro roll, accelerometer pitch, and gyro pitch. Inside it, for the roll, gyro gain multiplied by gyro roll, gyro roll, and 1 minus gyro gain multiplied by accelerometer roll. Very simple. And after that, I am going to have a damping. You can implement this with the built-in Matlab function, but I wanted to create this model for tutorial demonstration, so I'm going to use it as simple as possible. With the damper, we're going to put a gain on the old value, means the last value 4 milliseconds ago, plus 1 minus gain of the new value, which is the current value calculated. This one is a memory block that will return the last sample value. Just the same for the pitch and heading, everything is the same. And you can change the damping in your application. And nothing important anymore. And for the heading, because we cannot calculate the initial heading by the accelerometer, the initial source is for the from the magnetometer, and for the secondary source we're going to use the gyro around the z-axis. And this far only use the conversion of the heading is always between 0 and 360. I don't think anything else remained here. One more thing, I disabled the scopes here because in this example I am using a very fast, maybe 250 Hertz data sampling. The problem is when I activate these scopes, my model doesn't predict the altitude well. I don't know why. Maybe the scopes cannot work well when they are working 250 Hertz. Maybe this is a problem. So I disabled the scopes and I'm using the output displays on the application. And these are the sensors. I put it all together here and I use the from and go to blocks to make everything clear. And of course I know it's not standard, but this one is for demonstration and tutorial only. And that's it. When everything finished, if you have done all the configurations and setups in the last tutorial, you just connect your phone. Make sure you have done everything I mentioned in the last tutorials. You then click on build, deploy and run and wait for the code being generated and deployed to your phone. I will show you the results on my phone. Okay, after the code built on your phone, the new application will appear on your application screen and I will open it. This is it. As you can see, we have complementary heading, complementary pitch and roll, and two input value here for damping filter gain and gyro complementary filter gain. And there is a button. For example, you see right now the pitch is not, for example, pitch is not accurate. I will click on the complementary reset and it will reset to the value that right now the accelerometer is sensing. And it's working. I am tilting the pitch axis, the roll axis, and the heading. It's almost to the north right now, almost to the east, and it's working great. You can go on and play around with these gains and see what's happening. And the point is, if I leave this alone for a long time, a little drift will be observed, and this is because I haven't calibrated anything. But for the real projects, before you do these things, you have to do some tests on your sensors. You should measure the bias of your gyro, the accelerometer bias, the noises, and filter them before using them in your complementary filter. You have to remove the bias on every other thing. And and the better choice is you use the built-in low pass and high pass filter inside Simulink, because right now we are not using that. We are using a simple equation for discrete data sampling. If you use low pass and high pass filter, you have better control in filtering the frequency of the noise and these kind of things. So this is only a demonstration tutorial. So if you want to use it on a real project, you have to change the Simulink model based on your work, based on your limitation, based on your requirements, and that's only the demonstration. Right now, for example, let me click on the complementary reset and we see if the pitch changes or not. You see 2 degrees change, about 2 degrees. That's okay, because I have not calibrated and I have not tuned the gains. You have to tune the gains based on the need of this tutorial. Okay, but this is a complementary filter. In the next tutorial, I will compare the complementary filter and Kalman filter together to see what's the difference of them together. Thank you for watching. Happy coding and happy flying.